Hi, I send you peace, I send you love, I send you greetings. I trust you are all doing well. In my previous video, where I detailed the step-by-step approach in, building your software engineering journey, okay, I made mention of 8 steps that you have to follow that will help you in formulating and engineering a project from the start to the development stage. In this video, we are going to continue from that video. This video, we are going to concentrate or we are concentrating on how to extract your database table from the access and the pseudocodes. Okay, so the connection here is in this video, you'll be advised to focus on the third, fourth, and fifth point within the 8 steps that was given last week or in the previous video. Okay, what was the third point? The third point was access identification, the point where or the stage where you identify all your actors. All right. The fourth point was to identify the roles of each of the actors. Okay, the role of each of the actors. And the fifth point was to converting the or deriving pseudocodes from the roles of the actors that were identified. Okay, so these are the three focus areas that we are going to work on in this video. All right, to extract our tables. Okay, so if we take an actor like, mind you, we are dealing with a POS. Okay, a point of sales application. All right, kind of a thing. So the actors that we are dealing with here could be in this for the purpose of this video, we are going to stick to an actor, a staff as an actor. Okay, when you pick a staff, all right, this is where we think aloud. Okay, so when you pick a staff and you want to extract your database or your table from the person staff, okay, two things. You consider the role that the staff is going to do in the system. Then the other leg is the personality staff. Okay. Before you assign a role to the person, you have to register, you have to have the person's data in the system. Hence, you need to create a certain table called staff table where the staff details are going to be kept. Okay. Now, because of normalization, okay, in database normalization, it is not advisable to box all the staff data into one table. However, you are supposed to break them down, okay, to a certain normal form, okay, that you think is okay for you. All right. Academic wise, we'll tell you to break it down to the fourth normal form. But in practice, sometimes depending on how you want to, organize your queries and other things, how fast you want some data to be, instead of writing inner joins, and joining tables here and there, you prefer to box them all one. And that is if you're going to treat redundancy well. It works well. If it works best for you, that's fine. Best practices apply it in academia. But in some cases, it's best you also try to, break them down, okay, to the best normal form. Then you are good to go. So having that in mind, okay, you have to now think of the staff in several breakdowns. So when you pick the staff, a human being as it is, you have the biodata of the human being. Okay, that is, if you look at the human being, his physics or her physique over there, you identify the gender, identify the name, identify the date of birth, identify the eye color, you identify all those things forms the biodata. Then you can have the address of the personality of the staff, where the person stays. You can have the address as another category. Then you can have the education, level of that person. Then you can go ahead to have the marital status of that person. This depends on the kind of system you are building. Okay, so you think of it in that way. So this personality as a human being, a staff, it could be a customer, it could be anybody. So any actor that bears the human qualities. Okay, any actor that bears the human qualities or the animal qualities, scientific wise. So if you have a dog and other animals too, you can have the same qualities. You can take the biodata, where they are residents and the address and all those things, depending on the system you are building. All right. So in this case, we have the biodata table, we have the address table, we have the education level table, we have the marital status table. So you have these things in one. As I said earlier, you can box all of them together or you can break them down like that. Okay. So in this video, you are going to break them down. Okay. You are going to break them down. All right. So when you pick the staff bio data, then you can now think of what data you are going to collect from that one. So I think I've shared some earlier, not long ago. So you can now think of a certain an ID, because every record is supposed to have a unique ID. Okay, so you can have a staff ID, then the name. So in the name, according to some standards, okay, it is ideal for you to at least have two breaks in it, either the surname and other names, okay, or send this for some use family name and other names, and some of one day two, but it's supposed to be two breakdown, and that is it's a standard, okay. It's an international standard that has been laid down that we follow. In development and in our field, we mostly focus on standardizations, okay, and it's best you follow. So I have here, we have ISO stroke IEC 7501 stroke 1 and ICAO doc 9303. Okay, that standardization ensures that, or they suggest or they recommend that when you are using staff name, when you're using a name, collecting any data that has a name, human name or something, there is a need for you to break it down. Okay, so you have the surname and the other names or whatever how you name it, but they have to be the breakdown, the two. Okay, because in most of the passport identifications and other identifications, you see that they have that breakdown there. So it follows that standardization. So you have the two. So you have the staff ID, we have the surname, we have the other names, you have the staff sex. Sex also has its own standardization that also recommends that we should take that one. Okay, so we have the sex, we have the height, we have the weight, we have the date of birth, skin color, hair color, eye color. You can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on that one. Okay, so you organize it in that way. All right, now you come to the staff address. So staff address, the address that you are dealing with belongs to a certain person, a certain staff. So here, your staff ID that you created in the staff table, staff bio table, become a foreign key here. So whereby you can reference that. So when you are doing your queries and you call the ID, staff ID, you can get all the connected records via the ID, then get all the data, okay, in your query or in your results, in your query results. Do you get it? So with the staff address too, then you can introduce your foreign key, staff ID, then you can have either the email address, the residential address, the GPS address, whatever address you want to take, you have it there. Then you can go to the education level. So that one too, you introduce your staff ID, that's a foreign key, then education level, well, the higher education or higher level or something, then you take that one to there. You go to marriage. What are you looking at? What are you looking at over there? Is the person married or not? What is the spouse name? Does it have any dependents? That means you are veering to a dependence table to where you take records of that dependent. Okay, so the questions that you're going to ask, okay, this area, what am I looking at for? Then you just listing them down. Okay, in this table, what am I looking like? The educational level table. What are you looking for? Education level. If it is tertiary, if it is whatever, then you need what school? Where is the school located? Where any question that you can ask on that one, just add it like that. It forms part of your table. Do you get it? Same way when you go to the biodata to that person, what do you want to know? What do you want to get about that person? Then you just list them down like that. All right. So that ends that one. Now, the person has been created, the staff has been created. The staff is going to perform a certain role in the system. Okay, so that role in the system, it means the person has to log in from somewhere. You have to log in from somewhere, eh? Get the role defined for you before you can now be redirected to your page where you can work on how the system has been programmed for you to work on. Okay, so we have a certain table called login table. So in the login table, that is where we deal with the access controls. Okay, so over here, depending on how you want the system to work, how you want the system, the staff, the users to log in, if they are required to enter username, staff number, or phone number, or email, these data, the data that you want them to use to access your system, you have to define all of them there. So in that table, you can have multiple foreign keys there, okay, or multiple repeated data there. Okay, so here, if I want them to use staff number, staff ID, I'll bring my staff ID in the table, I'll bring my phone number in the table, I'll bring my email address in the table, followed by the password. So they can use either of the three, either staff ID, phone number, or email, and the phone number and the password together with the password. Then they'll log in. Do you get it? So this one, you're not using any two-factor, 2FA. This is 1FA. So from here, you just move to the next stage. All right. So having collected these four data, then you now come to the privilege of the user. So if the person has the administrator role, cashier role, inventory officer role, and that is where you define it. So that's a privilege. Okay. Now it comes to the online status. So is a person online, or when last did the person log in? So we have last login, online status, and account status. So is the account active or inactive? So these controls are something that you set for the user. So when the user is online, as administrator, you can switch the user online status to offline. Automatically, the user will go off. The system will log him out. If you set the account status from active to inactive, the user will never be able to log into the system. And then if you want to monitor the logins of the person too, you can check it from the last login. Okay, so the user access control in your system is very interactive. It makes it so nice. All right. Okay, so once you are doing all these entries, okay, once you are creating the accounts, there could be a point where the system will trigger an error. Once you even are logging in, there will be a need for you to also track errors. So in doing that, you have to now introduce another table called the system error table. The names are not standard, so they are user defined. You can also name them, give them another name. Any name that suits you in your project, any name that you can easily recall, you can just use them in there. All right, good. So in that table, what are you looking out for? You're looking for the problem that has been identified, who caused the problem, or to whom the problem was triggered. All right, and which location was the problem. All right, so we have the staff ID, we have the error ID, we have the error message, then the source of the error, then the date the error was generated. Okay, so you have that one to stored. Then on and on and on and on and on. So in a nutshell, all right, what I want you to pick up here is when you are in your database, when you are creating your tables in your database, when you pick any table from your actors and their rows, when you pick it, the easy way out for you is to question it. Okay, this table, let's say inventory, this inventory table, what am I looking out for? So the inventory, the main idea is to capture data of a certain product, depending on the product you are working on. So I'm capturing grocery, consumables. All right, consumables. So that consumable product, it will have a name. Even I'll have to give it an ID. I'll give it a name. It was purchased from a certain supplier. So the supplier details to supplier name, all right, invoice number, the quantity I bought, the expiry date. Do I need this? Do I need that? Do I need that? Then you just list all those things down. If the project you are doing conforms to a certain standardization, you introduce those standardization in there. Okay, because when we're dealing with drugs, unit of measure and all those things comes to play. All right, so that is how easy you can derive your tables from the actors and their roles. I hope I've made sense, and I've brought this thing down for you to you understand it. I'll end the presentation here. I wish you all the best. I send you love, I send you peace, and I send you joyful moments in your programming. See you in my next video. Bye bye.